Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. We're doing a cook with us video. This is my boyfriend Brandon. You've met him a couple times on my channel before. He's gonna show us how he makes his famous steaks. So good, it's super easy for you to do at home as well. And then I'm gonna be showing you how I make my pasta. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so I'm gonna walk you guys through the steak making process here. Pretty much all I do for a rub, salt and pepper. I used to salt my steaks after I cooked them because I always heard that if you salted it before, it made it tough. Myth. Salt your steaks before, and if you can, we're not going to for this video, but if you can, salt it the night before, put it in a bag and let it marinate, and it actually keeps all the juices in the steak. That's your hack for this video. In this case, we're doing it right before we cook it. I'm evenly spreading it throughout the steak, and then I'll take the pepper, put that on. You can be pretty generous with it, because at the end of the day, it's just a rub. And then I kind of just pack it in, and then I flip it over, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I don't exactly know what salting it prior is actually like scientifically doing.
But it makes a difference.
But it makes a big difference in just like maintaining the moisture. So those we're gonna let relax. We're gonna be cooking them in the oven today, and when we get to that step, I'll kind of show you guys what we're doing there. So key thing when we're cooking the steak is we do want to make sure that we bring the steaks to as close to like room temperature as possible. It'll just give you the most even cook.
So next I cut out some sweet potatoes and I made them about this thick because we're gonna toss them in the oven. We have it preheating right now to about 400 degrees, but I have some avocado oil. We have a couple big ones of avocado oil that we pick up from Costco that we really like. My trick to spreading it is actually we'll take a slice. We actually don't like using foil for this because it gives you a crispier potato, right?
Sometimes with a sweet potato, because of the sugars in it, it'll actually end up sticking to the foil and it'll be a pain to get it off afterwards.
Yeah.
And if she has some time, she'll put some thyme on there too.
Brandon suggested that I kind of make sure I evenly coat both sides of the little potato slices just to make sure that they get a good bake when we toss them in the oven. As you can tell from him giving me like all the tips, he's the cook in our relationship. We have a rule where he cooks and I clean. Now you're chopping asparagus over there.
Chopping some asparagus.
We are trying to time this so that everything is done around the same time. His steak takes around 25 minutes to do, so prepping some vegetables.
That's not normal, by the way, either. The steak time is gonna vary depending on how thick the steak is, depending what you're cooking it on. I've been using an air fryer lately, which is like my preferred method. I think I put it on 400 degrees, and it is, depending on the thickness, anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes on each side.
And then we have some veggies here. These are all just pre-cut, so it just makes it really easy for us. I feel like Brandon always buys these types of vegetable packs. So in here is red, bell peppers, cilantro,
onion.
Oh, it's a fajita mix. Good little mix, but you could obviously buy everything individually and just cut it up yourself. And then in here is red onion, asparagus, and mushrooms. We also bought some ground beef for the pasta that we're gonna be making later.
All right, so we're just taking the bell peppers. I actually prefer to get them whole, because then you actually know what you're dealing with. But we got these little packages. They're down at the market, super easy. But we're just gonna cut these up into little like inch or so pieces, probably a little less than an inch.
And all these veggies we're actually planning to saute as well, so it'll be really good on the side of like the steak. Okay, next we are going to start with some of the pasta. I have these two here, but you can really use any type of pasta. Brandon's mom actually prefers gluten-free, so since we're cooking dinner for the whole family tonight, gluten-free pasta. So I have a big pot of water here and I filled it about halfway. My tip is to actually salt the water, and I heard somewhere that you want to make the water taste as salty as like ocean waters, and it helps the water to boil a lot faster, and it also adds a little bit of flavor to the noodles as well. So we just want to wait for the water to boil, and then I'll go ahead and add in the noodles. While everything is in the oven, we have a little Q&A portion. So I had you guys ask us some questions on my stories the other day. I have so many pages of questions, but we're not gonna have time to to do everything. We're just gonna do like a quick Q&A session, but we actually have a full Q&A video. We answered a ton of questions in that video, so I'll go ahead and link it down below or up in the corner if you haven't seen that yet. That video is super long and we went really in depth about like our breakup, our relationship, some of the struggles, and like how we met and stuff like that. So if you guys want to see a more in-depth Q&A, I will link that video, and I also have all the questions that we answered timestamped as well, so to make it as easy as possible for you. The first question is for Brandon, and it is, what makes him think you're a game changer?
What does that even mean? It's tough to just pinpoint one thing, but I just like how I feel like we can just both be ourselves, and like I'm not pushing her to do anything that she doesn't want, but we're okay with like our differences.
That's a generic answer.
I don't know how loving and caring she is.
So we have the potatoes in there for about 25 minutes and he's checking on them. They look ready?
No, leave them in there.
Okay, a couple more minutes for those. Oh, steak is done.
Steak is not done, it needs to be flipped.
Oh, okay. So he earlier popped in the steaks.
That's what happened earlier, this thing freaking...
That fell out?
Yeah, it really fell out.
Oh my, did we lose some asparaguses?
Oh, whoa!
Brandon!
He lost 3 or 4 asparagus grains. Back in the oven.
Okay, so then he puts in the steak for another 12 minutes, and we set a timer every 6 minutes so that he can check on it. So if I were to answer the question, I think what makes Brandon different is he's so genuine and like supportive of me. When we first started dating, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't serious about social media or anything like that. I wanted to be like a real estate agent. So what I wanted and what I am now is completely different. A lot of that is thanks to him. It feels like almost everything that I wanted to do, he was always super supportive. And he was the one that convinced me to start my YouTube channel and convinced me to pretty much go after my dreams, which being raised by like traditional Vietnamese Chinese family, that was just like unheard of. He's always like super honest as well. And there will be times where I'll like film a video or do something and he'll be like, hey honey, I didn't like the way that you filmed that video, or I think you should have done this different. It makes me better too, which I really like. So now
going off of that.
Yeah, so now you can change your answer, dummy.
Going off of that, Christine definitely like pushes me as well, just to not, I guess, settle. I think our strength as a couple is that he's almost kind of a free spirit, super creative, and kind of inspires me to do things that aren't standard or like normal. And I think I was just raised to be super hardworking. And so I think we really balance each other out, where I help him to be a little bit more hardworking and he inspires me to kind of go outside of my comfort zone from time to time, which I think is really great. Giselle said, do you guys ever have fights or misunderstandings? If so, how do you guys solve it? When we first started dating, we fight a lot, but now we don't as much. If you guys don't know, him and I broke up when we were about 2.5, 3 years into our relationship. And as you know, we're now nearing 5.5 years. And before our initial breakup, we used to argue all the time. And I think after taking a little break and coming back together, we kind of learned that those little fights aren't really worth it. So whenever we have any type of like disagreement or fight, we kind of just talk about it. And we're a little bit more patient because we know that in the grand scheme of things, like the little fights do not matter. Doesn't matter.
So, do you both play video games? No.
Definitely used to be a gamer though.
Yeah, but not like Sid. Because he's one of Sid's friends. So he's like asking gamer. We're never like that.
No. Sid would probably whip my ass.
Rachel said, who sweats more at IHP, you or Brandon? Oh, so is she a hot yoga person? Oh, so this is a girl that actually goes to our hot yoga studio, and we go to a place called Hot Yoga Agora Hills, but he sweats so much, it's ridiculous. I already sweat a lot, but he sweats more than me. Like he'll come out and leave like footsteps of sweat.
I can like wring my towel out.
Yeah, okay, check the steak.
Steak? So what are you doing in here?
So just make sure that it's in there, and then set a timer for about 8 minutes. But usually it takes anywhere from like 10 to 12 minutes, but I like to check on it early because last time we accidentally overcooked them a little bit. M. Zaga said, marriage in the near future?
We talk about it all the time. We know that we're going to get married eventually, and
yeah.
Honestly, we get popped that question more often than not.
Usually from his mom or my mom.
We just want to be on our own. We want to have our own place. We want to be set up. Once the time is right, we know that we're going to. So.
Yeah, but we just want to make sure we're above everything financially stable, because we as a couple are ready for that. It's just like, are we ready to move out have a wedding that we want and
Yeah.
like pay our mortgage and all that stuff. So it's just kind of like time. It's Lolo said, not relationship related, but what mix is Brandon?
So I am mostly, from my dad's side, is Chinese Native American, and then on my mom's side is where we really get lost in the sauce. And I'm a whole bunch of stuff on her side, like Irish, Italian, German,
But we tell people white.
white.
So he's technically quarter Native American, quarter Chinese, half white. I'm technically fully Chinese, and my whole family is Chinese, but they moved to Vietnam. So my parents were born in Vietnam, but we're all originally Chinese. So I think that makes me Chinese, but I feel like I don't really look Chinese, so I need to do a test too to figure out like what I am. Someone said, what's your favorite activities to do together? Quick. I love playing card games. We recently got into playing card games or like binge watching our favorite TV show right now is Breaking Bad.
I like working out, honestly.
Yeah.
I like when we work out or like
Shopping's
going like
fun.
go shopping, thrifting.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself settling down? City or state?
I can see us in California for a while, but
Yeah.
also it's kind of a crazy place to be with like so many people.
We're actually originally from Seattle, and I love Seattle. I love the people there. I feel like California is fun, especially while we're young, but I would love to move back. But who knows? I mean, maybe in 5-10 years from now, I'll love it so much. Yeah.
That might change.
Yeah.
We do know we want to go to New York at some point for a little while.
And Japan.
And Japan, so we'll see.
Like live
We'll
there.
see what happens.
Is the effort and care you put in for your significant other the same now as when you first started dating? Obviously, I think we put in more effort and care because now
In the
it's
beginning,
now versus at the beginning. I mean, at the beginning, Brandon put in 0 effort. Brandon was a fuckboy. Sarah Lee wants to know, are your love languages the same? No, our love languages are not the same. I feel like mine is quality time and acts of service. And I feel like yours is physical touch and...
what?
You're always so like...
I'm always.
There's acts of service, physical touch, gifts, words of affirmation, quality time. Yours is not quality time.
What?
Oh yeah, I have to check the pasta.
Wait, how many do I pick?
2.
2? Probably touch and quality time. So what do we got going over here?
So pasta finished cooking in about 10 minutes, and what I do to test that is I'll just take out a piece and like bite into it.
Throw it into the wall.
Yeah, if it sticks, it's done. I'm actually putting over some cold water over it, and some people say not to do this, but I like to do it because it just prevents the noodles from sticking together. If you want, you can pour like a little bit of olive oil instead. So your love language is quality time and physical touch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like quality time is so important, and sometimes I feel like you're not super aligned with me because quality time to me is not him watching TV while I'm working or him golfing while I'm like organizing my makeup or whatever. Quality time to me is where you're not doing anything else but like spending time together, and I feel like sometimes he thinks because we've been with each other all day that it counts as hanging out, and to me it doesn't. So we talk about that all the time where I'm like, honey, we haven't spent quality time yet. Who is a better cook and who is the most annoying to cook with?
Me, and she's the most annoying person
Why
to
am I
cook
annoying?
with.
I'm not annoying. Honestly, we don't really cook together that often. And when we did cook together often, it was like in the early stages of our relationship. So it was just
We were like, yeah, let's cook together.
yeah. But anyways, the rest of our food is finishing up. So we're just gonna go ahead and finish up dinner.
Alright, so I forgot to tell you guys when I put them in there originally, we kind of forgot to go over that whole part, but here the steaks are. We cooked them for about 24 minutes. We did it on 12 minutes on each side, and now, most important part, you do not want to cut the steak. You want to let it rest, and it's actually going to still cook a little bit through, and then you can cut into it.
Are you putting them back in? Okay, so next we're taking our trusty avocado oil, and I usually like to look at the percentage of how lean the meat is. 15% fat, so this one actually has a little bit more fat than what I normally use. I usually like to use 10%. So since this one has a little bit more fat, I don't need like quite as much oil. So now I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, kind of flavor it. And it's better to do not enough than too much because you can always add more salt but you can't take it away. And pepper. I don't like to get too crazy with the ground beef, especially for pasta, because the sauce is already gonna give so much flavor. Breaking it up and kind of spreading it all over the pan.
Yeah, it's been about 10 minutes. I usually go anywhere from like 8 to 10 minutes. And now we're just gonna cut nice little slices. As you can see, we like our steak to come out like medium rare. I even might have cooked it a hair too long. Might have let it sit for too long. Nonetheless, still a pretty good steak. You can see how juicy it is. That's like from just that little bit of salt makes like a big difference.
Steak's all done. We have potatoes. He grilled up some veggies. The sauce is pretty much done. Yeah, we got some asparagus warming up, all 6 that we have left. We're actually cooking for Brandon's parents tonight, and they're outside.
Maybe we can plate theirs and we'll bring it to them and get their reaction.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So Christine used to be a server, so we left her the duties of holding more than one plate. And we're gonna surprise my mom and Lennox. We have dinner.
Fantastic.
Pasta.
Oh,
Pasta.
look at all this.
Wow.
What a nice display. Thank you so much.
Juicy is a little excited as well.
Yeah.
So that is our finished little meal. I hope you all enjoyed the video and our little Q&A session. If you like videos like this, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up and let us know down in the comments what you'd like to see next. Is there any other videos that you want to see from us? Brandon also is on Instagram, so make sure you guys follow him. He's going to be more active. And that is it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
In a mukbang.
It's mukbang.